It is Friday, February 17th, and I am on the terrace of my apartment in Risan, Montenegro. This is, in this area, this is Risan Bay. And this body of water, it looks like a lake. People refer to it as a fjord, but Wikipedia calls it a rai, R-A-I. I have really no idea what that means. Something to do with glaciers, I don't know. But there is a lot of water that comes down from the mountains and replenishes this water. And the water turns, if you see the electrical tower, right there, it turns and winds its way out into the Adriatic Sea. You see, we are absolutely surrounded by very steep mountains. It's really just amazing. I have to back out because it's just too small. Most of the country is actually, there's very few areas that are not rocky. It's really quite glorious. This is the town of Risan down there. The orange building directly in the center of the camera at the moment. That's an old folks home that they built. Rest of these are newer. There's a lot of newer structures as you get up higher. Lower on, they're mostly stone houses. There's a tremendous amount of stone. If you just look down here at the walls and at the terrace below, it's all rock because it's plentiful. Notice also, here it is February, they still have lemons on the tree, and the reason for that is simply because it is so plentiful. Citrus fruit is so plentiful here that they don't even bother to pick it all. It's really amazing. Here, right outside, this is my kitchen window on the side. You have lots of oranges that have gone unpicked. But I'm going to try to get to those and make some orange juice. There's nothing like fresh orange juice with vodka. Anyway, the dog and I are going to drive. We're going to drive over to this other side. It's about 10 minutes away. And then we're going to take a walk. I'll take more photos. Well, the sun is shining directly here. So I'm not sure if you can see, but we came from over there. And we just drove along the shore. Past the hotel. And here we are where the water is. Water is so incredibly clear. It's really gorgeous. Let me back out. So this is Risan Bay, and the other side is Kotor Bay. I believe. I could be wrong. But the rock formations are just wild. I drove up here. What's really crazy is that, Montenegro is a fairly poor country, and they don't have a lot of money for infrastructure. So, you don't really need that railing. Sure, there's a 30-foot drop if you miss the road, But, you know, you just have to be careful. And what's also strange is I see houses when they're adding things like staircases. They'll have these preformed cement staircases going up 1 or 2 flights of stairs, and there will be no railings. You're just expected to be careful. Really, really wild. Anyway, what I also wanted to show you here at the end of the village is a little settlement. There's some newer houses there. But right here, the end, some old stone houses that are very dilapidated, just falling down. But how beautiful to have something right on the water like that. The proprietor of my apartment told me that she thinks some Russian bought it recently. Lucky him. He's going to need to start doing some work. The temperature here this morning is about 9:15. Temperature is about 4 degrees Celsius. A Brit taught me a really easy way of figuring out what that means in Fahrenheit. You take the number, you multiply by 2, and add it to 32. So if it's 4 degrees, that's 8 plus 32 is 40. So you say 8 and it sounds cold. You say 40, it's like, oh, that's not bad. And today it should probably get up to about, maybe 52 or 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I just, Kidden and I did take a walk over there, and what happened is my batteries ran out. I bought fresh batteries yesterday, I forgot to put them in, and the batteries ran out. So, that was the end of my films from that way. But now we're going to be driving to the town of Kotor, and I'll get out and take some photos from there, and maybe I'll stop along the way and just show a couple of little places. Okay, I'm here on this is the main road between Risan and Kotor, and there's not that many roads, to be honest with you. So, of course it's a main road. And I'm near the town of Perast, which is just going to be over there. You can see one of the steeples right now. And that is the island of something like Island of Virgin Mary or something like that. And then there's another island there. One of them, I don't know which, is a man-made island. This water is not deep at all, of course, and there's rocks all over the place. In fact, you may have noticed in some earlier pictures some buoys floating. B-O-U-Y. B-O-buoy. I don't know how to spell buoys. Anyway, you may have noticed them floating as to alert people that to bring your boat there is really stupid. Anyway, there were 2 sailors who, during low tide, came across the rocks and found a picture of the Virgin Mary, supposedly. And I supposedly found it, not that supposedly she was the Virgin Mary, although that's another story. And anyway, so they built the island and built a church, and they built something else. In any case, regardless of your religious proclivity, you must admit this is quite a spectacular place to be. A little bit of snow at the top. Just a lovely, lovely, lovely place. Okay, we're still on the main road. We just passed the village of Perast. I wanted to show way inside there is where we came from. That's Risan, way in the background. Those are the mountains, of course. And I do not know what that place is there. I have to look at a map. The contrast between the water, the scrub green, and the gray Rocky Mountains topped with snow, with the beautiful blue sky, it's just really extraordinarily beautiful here. I think it's probably here much more beautiful now than it is in the summer, and the reason I say that is because they get apparently tons of tourists, but mostly from Central and Eastern Europe, which I'm sure makes this very, very, very unpleasant. Paras, for example, this village right here, you're not allowed to take your car in. They have so much traffic, only locals are permitted to drive in. If you're a tourist, you have to park your car at the entrance and take one of the shuttles that they have there. It's actually a pretty good idea. Okay, we're going to continue onward. On to Kotor. Well, I've come up the mountain a bit, not too far. And as we went up, there's is it a flock of goats? I don't think so. Something else. Anyway, there were some goats. They're around the corner. They kind of ignored us. But now that we're here and they're parked, they're just staring at us, making sure it's okay for them to go by. Okay, I went not up that far, but up a little bit in the mountains, and the roads really are, in places, I mean, you have, 60, 80-foot drops. They're really nerve-wracking. They're not dangerous. They're wide enough to get through. It's just really scary to look down. Anyway, we're looking down at the town of Risan. That white building is the hotel. And I don't know if you can make out, but in the center of the picture is the church. It's the steeple from the church. And of course over there is where the water will ultimately empty into the Adriatic. I keep saying, but we haven't seen it yet. I did drive to Kotor. I just had some errands to run. I ran them, and I'm going to need to start work soon. But before I did, I wanted to come up here and show you a little bit. A little bit further up, there's also a water source. And people come up here all the time to take drinking water. I find the water actually to be totally fine from the tap, so I haven't bothered to do that yet. But I might do it once just for fun. There we have all the goats. Just a little bit nervous about us being here, so they're kind of waiting for us to go. Well, a little bit about Montenegro. Montenegro is actually not the country's name. It's the name that was given to it by the Venetians when the Kingdom of Venice was really strong. They gave it the name Montenegro, which means, well, it means Black Mountain. However, in Serbo-Croatian, it's Čarna Gora. Čarna is black, Gora is mountain. Black Mountain. So you think, oh, it was named after the Black Mountains. And the answer is no. because first of all, the mountains are not black. They're very much gray or white, lights in color. The name is from a ruling family that ruled here for about 300 or 400 years. They were the Chardana family. So it's Chardanagora. The population of the entire country is 630,000, if you can imagine. I would say that apparently they have to import virtually everything that they have. The vegetables that I've seen here have been really dreadful. I guess food is a little bit expensive. On the other hand, just being here is not expensive at all. As I said, it's a relatively poor country. Tourism is a very important part of their economy. There is really no tourism during the winter, which it is right now. Culturally, if you look at the map, you're going to see, yes, it's right next to, it borders Bosnia, it borders Croatia, Albania. So you think that it's a really kind of, like, maybe it could be like a kind of a backwater kind of place. And I guess in some sense it is. But moreover, I actually feel that it has, I really feel a strong influence of Italy. Because after all, it's just across the ocean. And Montenegro and Venice had a very good relationship for centuries. And you just feel you feel the culture. You can feel it in you can hear it in the music, in the way people speak. It doesn't feel like a Slavic. In some senses, it doesn't feel that much like a Slavic country. It feels much more like a Mediterranean country. You know, I also would like to contrast this with, I arrived here after having spent 3 weeks in Saint-Raphael, France. And Saint-Raphael is a, tiny little town with lots and lots of money. You know, people have summer homes there. And the wealth it is clear that the place is extremely wealthy. Here, it's not clear that the people are very poor, but in fact they are. There's some evidence of it, but mostly it just looks like a really beautiful place to be. The weather is about the same, or perhaps a little bit better than Saint-Raphael, in fact, and a lot cheaper. I mean, I would much rather vacation here than I would on the Côte d'Azur. Okay, before I say goodbye, I know I already said goodbye, but before I say goodbye for the very last time, I just want to let you know I walked up the hill just a little bit with the dog, and it's really such a pretty view. I wanted you to see it. Here we are still with the mountains, of course, in the bay. Stunning.